welcome everybody back to another podcast. Your host Mello. Today is gonna be most likely the most controversial podcast we're gonna have, the most debatable. Um, this was a topic that we was talking about yesterday. The ESPYS passed last night. A lot happened last night in those ESPYS. Obviously, Stephen Curry. He was the host for it, and he threw shots at Grant Williams. He threw shots at the Lakers, Celtics. He threw shots at LeBron James, and it was crazy. But talking about that, there was a question that me and the guys were talking about yesterday that brought up, and this was before the ESPYS, and the question was, who was the best NBA player right now? And we're not talking about all time, to make it clear. We're not talking about in general. We're talking about right now in this era. But for me, I was I was following into like this season category, not more like the decade category. And I'm gonna get into that. And the two answers that they had was LeBron James and Stephen Curry, which it was a big debate, which, I understand why each side said of who, but let's talk about this season in general. I don't think either of the two were the best players in the NBA. And the reason why I'm saying that is because those are the two greatest players of all time. Like in this era, they're top five. That's nothing that nobody cannot tell me no that LeBron James and Stephen Curry is not top five of all time. Maybe even top three. There is top three of this generation. I'm gonna just put it out there. Shit, top two, and I'm gonna go in with it. I'm gonna just keep going, and I know them comments are gonna go crazy. And the reason, let me start with LeBron. So LeBron is obviously one of the best players to ever play the game of basketball. He's the face of the NBA. Obviously, that was one of the things that they brought up. But despite having so many good stats and he's accomplished so much last season, for him, the team couldn't make it to a play-in. You know what I mean? Like that shows a lot because if that's the case, there's so many other great players right now in the NBA. Like, let me bring up examples. De'Aaron Fox, this dude always putting up numbers in the Sacramento Kings, but do they even go to a play-in? No, they never even play in the playoffs. Um, who else? Bradley Beal putting up numbers. Do they even do anything? No. I think the last time they made the playoffs was when Westbrook was on the team. I don't remember. But that's why I was saying like LeBron is not the best right now. He is the best of all time in this era. He's the most accomplished player in this era. Obviously, he's been in the league for 20 years now. And you can't take that away from him. He's a four-time champion. Is he four? Yeah, he is four-time champion. And I know a lot of people say, "Oh, but he's been in the finals 10 times and this and that." That's true. And obviously, I feel like him and Michael Jordan can be in the same comparison. Obviously, it was two different eras. I feel like Michael Jordan, you could say Michael Jordan is the best player of all time. You could put that up there. But you got LeBron James that's playing in this era. Michael Jordan didn't play in this era. So you can't put Michael Jordan in LeBron's era, and you can't put LeBron in Michael Jordan's era because neither of them played in it. They didn't play in each other's era, so that's why I feel like there should be no comparison and all that because the game of basketball was completely different from what it was before than what it is now. And yeah, and with Stephen Curry, yes, he just got his fourth ring, and he tied up LeBron, and he's played less seasons than LeBron, and obviously he's the best shooter of all time. He's literally passed Ray Allen for the most 3-point shots in NBA history. And that record is going to keep going on and on and on. And I don't think nobody could ever break that record. Maybe because now, could Curry change the game? That was another thing that was being arguably about. That Curry changed the game. Nobody never used to shoot deep threes before. Now everybody wants to shoot threes, which that's a point too. But I think they was talking about like impacting the game and changing the game type of way. I'm just talking about, for me, I was thinking about not their performance, but obviously what they have done this season. Which I'm not gonna lie, to me, yes, Steph Curry has some great, amazing games. He had a great game in the finals, one or two great games in the finals. But was he the impact? It's like I want to say stuff, and I know I'm gonna just say whatever. If y'all don't like it, is whatever. It's like, was he the impact of the whole finals? You know what I mean? No, he was an impact when they needed him. That I could say, but you can't forget about there was an Andrew Wiggins, there was a Jordan Poole. Not even his sidekick Klay Thompson couldn't do anything good in the finals. Yes, he put up his numbers and all that. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't put up the expectations that everybody thought he was gonna put. I don't care if he didn't play NBA for 2 years. He's been playing since January. I feel like he should. He it's Klay Thompson, y'all. He's one of the best shooters in the game right now. But we're not talking about Klay Thompson. We're talking about Curry, LeBron, and whoever's the best player of all time. I mean, not all time. I'm gonna say in this season. Um, yeah. And there was Steph Curry fans that they agree with me, like, oh, Steph Curry wasn't the best player this season. He wasn't. He had a shooting slump. He wasn't playing. He wasn't having a great game every game. He was having a hard time during the season. But at the end of the day, they got the job done. That's all that matters. He got his fourth ring, and that's what it is. Who I think is the best player right now, and I'm gonna just say it: the top three MVP candidates are probably the best player right now. Me personally, I want to give it to Giannis Antetokounmpo, but it's another debate with Jokic. I was gonna have Embiid, but just the way that they lost in the playoffs is kind of like it threw me off. And the same way Jokic lost, but Jokic did put up some crazy numbers, and he did it on his own. And so did Joel Embiid, but that's why I give it to Giannis. Giannis is something else. That man cannot be stopped. And come on, I was going for the Celtics to win the whole thing. I said it before the playoffs. And if they had a Chris Middleton, that series would have been completely different. They could have won. Who knows? But since Chris Middleton was hurt, we don't know. But to me, I'm gonna just give it to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's accomplished a lot this season. Um, they just need a few pieces for him, and he could go back to the finals with no problem. Um, but let me stop going off topic, and let me. All right. So point blank period. I think probably Giannis is probably the best player in the NBA right now. You could debate with Nikola Jokic. I feel like it's a tie, but I don't think LeBron and Curry are the best player right now. The best player in the NBA. Curry got an award last night for best NBA player. That's probably in general, but going by off this season, it wasn't. When he had his MVP season, he was the best player of that time. He's still a great player, don't get me wrong. He puts up his stats, he puts up his numbers, he impacts the game well. But it's like I'm trying to say, like, yes, he plays very good. Oh, why is he not the best player right now? If he played good, he just won the finals. It's because he wasn't the impact of his team. Like 100%. It's a great thing that they had people in the bench like Jordan Poole, and you had people like Andrew Wiggins that could help score besides him. And which I do like in the finals, Curry did play differently. Besides shooting, he started looking for more players to pass to and stuff, which I like that. You know, he now knows how to impact the game besides him being the scorer. That's what Jason Tatum did in the first game, the finals. But let me just stop going off track. But at the end of the day, I love all these players. They impacted so much in the NBA. If you're gonna go best player of all time this era, or who's the best player in this era, you have to give it to LeBron James number one, but you got to give it to Curry number two. They could be tied at number one because they done so much, they accomplished so much in this era that you can't put them lower than your top five, in my opinion. And I'm talking about this era. I'm not talking about the whole NBA in general because that debatable. No matter how many rings you got and stuff like that, because there's so many other players that got the same amount of rings they do, and all they done was sit at the bench. It's not all about talking about, oh, they got these rings, they got these rings. It's not always about rings. But y'all let me know in the comments what you feel about it. If I really went kind of a little bit off topic and I talked too much, y'all let me know. Because when I do these podcasts, I don't even write anything down. I just say whatever that comes through my mind. And it's raw, no edit, like what Pop Smoke said. But yeah, let me know who you think is the best player right now in the NBA. And I'm not talking about this era. I'm talking about this season that just went by. I'm gonna give it to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Despite Jokic winning MVP and stuff like that, but that dude got clamped up by Draymond Green. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you don't miss any of the future podcasts. Um, Let me know who y'all think again. Who you think is the best NBA player in the NBA right now? And I'm talking about this season. I don't want to go in general of this era because if you're gonna go this era, I already told you my picks, my top two. So we're talking about this season. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, in my bio, Instagram is SportsLounge TV. Always do posts. Always post the news that comes out and stuff like that. And yeah, hope y'all enjoyed it. And I'll see y'all on the next one.